Hi everyone! Welcome to our video on global and local wind system. In this video, we will explain how wind works around the world and in our local areas. Let me introduce to you my groupmates. First, we have BSED Jason Castillo, who will explain the global wind system and how it works. Next is Minda Luares, who will talk about local wind system like sea breezes and land breezes. And finally, I am Emma Olaires Aison that will give you a quick summary of everything you have learned.
Hi everyone! Now, let's look at the global wind system. The winds that moves across the entire planet. Global winds forms because the Earth is heated unevenly by the sun. Warm air rises at the equator and moves toward the poles, while cooler air moves back toward the equator. This creates three major wind belts in each hemisphere. First is the trade winds. Trade winds from 0 degrees to 30 degrees latitude. The trade winds blow from the east towards the equator. These winds were used by sailors to travel across the ocean. And second is the westerlies. Between 30 degrees to 60 degrees latitude, the westerlies blow from the west and move toward the poles. These winds control much of weather in Northern America and Europe. And third is the polar easterlies, between 60 degrees and 90 degrees latitude. At the poles, cold air sink move back toward the equator as the polar easterlies. But wait, these winds don't move in a straight line. Because of the Earth's spin, they curve. This is called the Coriolis effect. This is why winds in the northern hemisphere curve to the right and in the southern hemisphere curve to the left.
Let's move on to the local wind system. The sea breeze at daytime. Now, let's talk about local wind system. Winds that happen in small areas. During the day, land heats up faster than water. Warm air rises over the land and cool air from the sea moves in. This is a sea breeze. At night, the opposite happens. Land cools down faster than water. So the wind moves from the land to sea, and this is a land breeze. In valleys, warm air rises at the mountains during the day, called a valley breeze. At night, cold air sinks down the slopes, called a mountain breeze. Monsoon are strong seasonal winds that bring heavy rains in summer and dry weather in winter, especially in Asia.
Let's dive into the summary. Global winds control the weather across the continents and oceans. And local winds affect our daily weather in places like beach, valleys, and mountains. Now that you know how wind systems work, you'll never look at a breeze the same way again. Thank you for watching and to God be the glory. Now that you know how wind